Let's get started. Yeah. Hey, what is up everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day today. So as you can see, I am currently down here at my shop and I'm just waiting for a few people in the next hour. So what I'm going to be doing is scrapping out all these plugins. Now I don't know how many exactly are here, but we are going to try to scrap out every single one of these plugins that you see. Now, over the last probably 5 or 6 months, we started cutting off our plugins and just saving them in a bucket instead of throwing them in our shred. Now our scrapyard unfortunately will only take these as shred. Even if you have a big amount of them, they won't give you like dirty brass or anything like that. So I decided that I would save them up for 5 or 6 months, see how many we have, and then I would take my time and put them in the vise and pull out all the pieces of brass on the end. And basically we will determine if it is worth it or not. So I do have a box here. I'm going to count them and we're going to see how many there are exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 100, 200, 260, 261, 262, 263, 264, 265 plugs. Alright, that's not too bad. So 265 plugs. So if we can manage to do approximately 5 in a minute or so, it'll take us about an hour to scrap every single one of these out. So if I can keep on that kind of a pace, this should only take about an hour. And there's quite a bit of weight here. So let's get started. To get all the brass ends out of the plugs, I'm going to be using my vise, some pliers, and a pair of snips so that I can snip off any of the little copper pieces that are probably going to come out with them. Now some of these are older plugs like this, do have brass screws in them, so we'll pull those out and we'll see how long this takes. So the current time is almost 10:15. Okay, first off, let's see how many we can do in approximately 1 minute. So we'll start right now. One. 2, 3, 4, Alright, there's 5. So was that a minute? I think it was a little bit more than a minute. But that's okay. As long as I keep up that tiring pace, I should be done in about an hour. So these old round plugs are actually very brittle, and when you try to take the screws out, they just snap and break anyways. So we're just going to put them in here and smash them with a hammer. Boom. That worked pretty good. Now you just pick all the little brass pieces out, and that's it. Yay, the last one. The last plug. Alrighty, so it's about 12:35 and I'm all done. Now keep in mind, I did have to deal with some customers today, so that did take a little bit of time. But for the sake of the video, in total, from the time I started to now, is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I would say about 45 minutes of dealing with customers and taking breaks, and I had a little lunch. So, but either way, there is the pile. Now I do still want to take off the pieces of copper wire that are attached to it, but nonetheless, that is a pretty nice pile of brass. Now, there are all the plugs. I got a question for you guys. Some of the plugs, for example, like this one, I don't know how great you guys can see that, where the copper wire didn't come out of it, that is still inside, and as you can see, there's still little chunks of brass. Would you still consider putting this in the shred pile? Now just let me know what you think I should do with all the pieces. Now the ones that the copper wire came out of, obviously I would just throw in the recycle, but there's a lot where they just break off, and it's really hard on your hands trying to pull out every single piece with the copper wire on it. But nonetheless, for those ones that the copper wire didn't come out of, would you still considering putting those in your shred pile? So just let me know down in the comments. But other than that, guys, like I said, I got a little bit of cleaning up to do on these pieces, and we are all done. So there we go. I would say that easily weighs over 3 pounds right there. Copper, I would say there's I don't know, about 1/4 pound of copper, a little bit of insulated copper wire, and this I eventually will clean it all up, but there's just a little handful of pieces that still have little pieces of plastic stuck to it. Some of it has like aluminum wire on it, but either way you could classify that as dirty brass if you want to. Put that in your dirty brass pile. And there we have it. Alright, we are all done, which is awesome. So the question a lot of people are going to ask, is it actually worth it to do it? I'm going to personally say it would be better that if you are going to do it, to just do like maybe 10 a day, or when you do cut them off the cord, to do it. Now definitely before you do any of this, check with your scrapyard to see what price they are giving for them. If it is just going in the shred pile, if they will classify it as, say, dirty brass, or if they have a category altogether for it. Just definitely check with your scrapyard before you go ahead and do any of this. Or if you already know the answer to that, and it is worth your time to just keep a jar, and every time you have a couple plug ends to pull them apart and stick them in the jar, I would say honestly definitely go ahead and do that. Now to do them all in a big bulk part like I just did, keep in mind your hands probably are going to hurt afterwards. That is a lot of pulling. I mean, my hands are pretty calloused up, so it doesn't really affect mine. So yeah, and like I said, I am getting paid to be at work right now, so I mean, it's alright for me to do it. But to each their own, definitely when it comes to these kinds of things. I actually enjoyed doing it. Like I said, I just took my time in between dealing with my customers and stuff. Come over here, pull 10 or 20 apart, take a break. You know, definitely take lots of breaks. Don't just keep going. You don't want to hurt yourself when you're doing this stuff. But yeah, the result is we got a little more scrap to add to the pile. And there you go. Can't disagree with that. So I do hope everybody's out there having a great day today. If you did enjoy the video, definitely hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe for a lot more great videos coming up in the future. And always guys, keep pushing your dream, keep pushing your passion, no matter what, and try to have fun with it guys. We will see you soon.